So, hello everybody. Thank you so much. You're welcome to today's program. Um, yes, so this is a bombshell of a program that you guys are in for. And like I've always advised you, I don't like it when people are selfish. You know, this is a very good program. You know, this is something that you like and you've been waiting to hear. And now it's happening, and you're not even sharing the video. Come on, share the video. Make sure everybody is invited. If you don't do that, that's not fair. Come on, how can you be onto something this good and you're not sharing it? So that's why we're giving you room to share and invite everybody that needs to be on this program, because our special guest today is somebody who is a no nonsense person. We've invited people to this program before. We've invited females, but this kind of female is the kind of female that we regard as a double man, if there's something like that, because of what she has done and how fierce she is. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to please put our hands together, doff our hearts, give a salute as I welcome a special guest this morning in the person of Aisha Yesufu. Aisha, you're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Aisha, people look at you, and I must tell them that looks are very deceptive. You look very gentle. You look, you know, everything, your demeanor, your courage looks like, somebody who cannot even say anything very, very forceful. But that is a total, that is a very, very deceptive look. And I say that in a very good way. I say that because a lot of people who do not know who you are will not understand why I wrote and said that you are a fierce and focused person. Now, just for the benefit of those people, before we go on, I would like to play a video. Let me find that video. I would like to play this video, and then this video is just like an introduction. So I'm gonna ask anybody out there to give me just 1 second. I need to play this video, because when I play this video, it will help you, not because of me, because of you that is watching. It will help you understand the person who is our guest. I'm going to play this video. I think this is from your Facebook page or from your Yahoo. My producer just sent this to me, but it is a video of Aisha Yesufu, the Aisha Yesufu that you need to understand. Okay, so watch this video and we'll come back to the interview.
Their father. May we scatter the Nigeria now. Now by force, may we stay together. I don't want to take on be by force now. If they want, may we do tete, may we do referendum. May everybody wakai, or may everybody choose whether this Nigeria we want stay together or everybody want going on. When we don't do referendum finish, moi, I no go want stay. I no mind. I go dey look for visa. Go visit them for Daura. Check how the next level be. If you like, may they allow me stay there for 100 years. That one go be their personal business. But for this Nigeria where we dey, Muhammadu Buhari no go dare am. Say want do 10. Say waiting. We die for that nation. We sit down for road. We die there. See, me I no be slave. Oh, I no come be slave for anybody. I don't know about you. Whether you can't be slave. They enslave my parents. They enslave me. Now they want to enslave my children. Like, yeah, it no go happen. It no go happen. Anyhow, where that idea, they come for their head. Make them squash them. Make them squeeze them. Make them throw away them. Make them carry them. Make them go put them for one side. Because if they try that one, now they go tell them, say, anybody where they see get bed for psychiatric hospital. Only say, some people no agree occupy am. That craze what they look for, we go show them that craze. Enough It's enough of this nonsense that is going on in our nation. We will no longer sit down and keep quiet and allow some charlatans from nowhere come and destroy this nation that has been together for over 100 years. It is time for us to determine our future. For those of you who are afraid because you think you don't want to die, a Texan will kill you inside your house, right where you are hiding under your bed. We will occupy that house. We will do
Chineke. Oh my God. I pity your camera.
I tell you, best catching the last line.
You took it out on the camera. Wow, Aisha, oh my goodness, you are such an inspiration. I want to, on behalf of everybody who you have spoken for them, thank you for the awesome, fearless job that you've been doing. But let us pause and go back and understand who is Aisha Yesufu. I read your biography, but I like to hear it from the person. Who do you think Aisha Yesufu is?
Thank you so much, Doctor, for having me on your show today. Today it's been such a sad day, just waking up to the news of the death of Chadwick Boseman. It's so, it's so painful and it's so sad. And I'm seeing how much what he had to go through, and even while he was going through so much personal struggle, that he had time for the world, and he had time to put out all of these new movies and be there and be heroes for young children, for adults alike, for boys, for girls, for Black people, for people who are not Black. It's really amazing, and I pray that his soul rests in peace, and his family find the fortitude to bear his loss. Immediately I saw that news book, I've been thinking about Lupita and thinking, oh, Lupita Nyong'o, what she's going through. They had such a beautiful movie that they did together in that Black Panther and all the cast. May God be with them all through this trying period.
Sorry, Aisha. It's incidentally that you're talking about this this movie. My kids, because it was not rated for children, we couldn't go and watch it with them when it came out, and we just rented the movie on our network, on a cable network, and they just watched this movie 2 days ago. So you can imagine seeing it for the first time. They were filled with pride and everything. They said they never knew this. So now it's a problem how we're going to communicate. They don't even know yet. So you can imagine. I'm wondering how I'm going to communicate this to them after this program. And I know that program, it was also very interesting that in that movie, when they saw Nigeria, they said, "Wow, Nigeria!"
Yeah.
And then they saw the rescuing of the girls. They said, "What is happening here?" So we had to relive the story of the bring it back, the Chibok girls to them, and then we related it to you and the struggle. So it was something that. Just now that you brought it, I was just waiting for this program to be over, so I switched into that. But now that you brought it up, it's I feel for his family too, and it's a huge loss
Yeah.
for us. Thank you for just bringing it up.
Thank you so much, and it's such an amazing movie. I remember when I watched it. My son is 21 now, and my daughter is 18. I should be 19 December. So he was like 20 when we watched that film. I remember I just came out and I said to my son, as soon as I woke, I'm like, "Oh, have you heard Black Panther?" I was like, "Mommy," because when we were going to, we will actually watch it, three of us. We even have a picture with two. And I shared it on Twitter.
We did a video. We did a video of going to the place. Yeah, my wife.
Yeah.
It was a moment for everybody.
Yes. And my son did something. He dressed up, which is normally what it's not the kind of child who dresses up, but he dressed up that day for that because he said, "Mommy, you can't go to watch The King."
Exactly. Everybody dressed up. Everybody, we all dressed up here. And in the whole theater, it was like we're having an African. Everybody.
Yes. He brought so much joy to our lives. And, I just pray that God is with his family, and he has finally found rest and he's free from the pain. Like they say, choke cancer. We must continue to look
Oh
for ways to
yes.
choke cancer.
Oh yes.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that and also for bringing me here. Like you did say, which is that my looks are very deceptive. You're right. It's not. It's something I've had to deal with all my life, and I love it. And so for me, one of the things that I hate about the fact that people seem to know me is the fact that I have lost my anonymity. So I used to love it when I just go to a place, I'm just sitting down and people are like, who is this woman? Some people think I can't speak English because of the way I'm dressed and all of that. And then when I start speaking, they're like, woo. And for me, it's always that, fun moment of just seeing people. I remember there was a diplomat who would come to Unity Fountain. He's always rich and he's always like, Aisha, you're crazy. He says, there's something that you just sit down, you're this unassuming person. Somebody will think, no, you can't say anything. And then you pick up the mic and it's like you're possessed, as if like a lioness, like just come out. For me, I've always had that all my life.
Oh
Anyway,
my God.
my name is Aisha Yesufu. Like you all know, I've always been this human being who believes in the fact that I need to live my life fully, to the hilt. Every day for me is the day. I'm not waiting for tomorrow, and I'm over yesterday. Like they say, yesterday died last night. So for me, it's all about the moment. I'm gonna live the life. I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be. I'm gonna say what I need to say. I'm not gonna keep anything in. I'm not gonna be afraid of death or anything. Just before I came on, if you notice my eyes are a bit red, I was actually crying. I just watched one of the videos of Chadwick Boseman, and I was just really, really crying. And for me, that's just the kind of person. And when I'm happy 100%. I'm a very emotional person, and I'm always unafraid to express my emotions and also to express my feelings. And I've always been that way. I was born and brought up in Kano State in Nigeria, but I'm actually from Edo State. My parents are from Edo State. So today here, and if you want me to street go pidgin English, no wahala, we just begin the rap and they go. See for my place, then I will they speak with that. So anyhow that it goes, and if you want me to speak outside, then the exam we should me. And if you want me to go to Israel, so my kids are always amazed, especially when they hear myself and my sisters and my siblings speaking. And we just switch from one language to the other, and they enter this. I'm like, how do you do it? I'm like, yeah, that's it. But the thing is that for people who have known me all my life, sometimes people say to me, Aisha, how do you get to be this way? And I'm wondering what way. This is who I have always been all my life. And it got me into a lot of trouble as a child, because growing up in an African setting, a Nigerian setting, where you were told that you can't speak up as a child. You're not supposed to have a voice. You're supposed to listen to your parents and hear whatever it is that they're going to say and just take it on. I was never ready to do that. And it got me into a lot of trouble. I would question authority. If you ask me not to do something, I need to know why. Don't just tell me not to do it. But incidentally, I happen to be a very obedient child. Even up to today, I follow the rules to the letter. I still do everything. Sometimes it looks ridiculous. Everybody say, I bet this one now. No, I'm going to do it because I have a big mouth. And if anything goes wrong, I'm going to speak. So I don't want a situation whereby I'll not be venting myself. Sorry now. I hated that all my life. So I always ensure that I follow strictly what the rule says. But then, if you cross my path, I'm never afraid to speak. I was 10 years old when I said to myself that the worst thing any human being can do to me would be to kill me. And I said to myself, it would be the worst thing because I'm going to die anyway. So at a very young age, I went through a process of finding myself that a lot of people don't even get to do all their lives, and some people do it in midlife. I came to a process where I found who I was, I accepted myself, and I loved myself for me, and I didn't care whether adults loved me or they didn't love me. Children live off being told, "Oh, you're such a good child. Oh, you're such a well-behaved child." I was never interested in that. As long as I knew that what I was doing was right, whatever the adults think, whatever they say, that was their business. And I think that's what I have up to today. What people say out there, or people that insult me or whatever, I really don't care, because, like I say, I have enough love for myself. And I always say to people, you can hate me, you either hate me or you love me, and either one is perfectly okay, because you can't just like me. I'm too strong a personality for you to just say, oh, Aisha, I like her. No. You're either like, oh my goodness, I love her, or you're like, I hate her. And I'm like, each one is perfectly okay. And that's the way it is. So as a young child, part of the things that I did was finding myself, questioning values, questioning things, questioning life, questioning what religion was all about, what was it, what existence of God. I remember as a young teenager, 12, 13 years old, I was questioning the Father, is there really good? Is there existence of God? I was reading books, and I read a lots and lots of books, and I think those things really helped me. And I got to a place where I found my faith, where I found that yes, this is what I do. And for me, it's that conviction, and I've been convinced, and I just do things the way they should be. Some people say that sometimes some of the things I say, I just say things the way they are. I've never learned to be this political and massage people's ego or one thing or the other. And even as a child, it happened to me. I mean, adults to be angry, my parents to be angry. But one of the things that I found out always was the fact that no matter how angry they were, they always came to that position of when they need somebody who was going to say the truth, when there are issues going on, they will always call on me. Even though when I say that truth, the person that the truth did not favor will be angry and will not like me, but they always came back. And so for me, that was okay. So I didn't bother about what they say. And if you look at my Twitter bio, you see where I said that my mom says in my court, nobody wins. She actually says that when she says that, she's always angry. Get away, Jare Odede. She calls me Odede. I have her mom's name, which is Odede means old woman. Just get away. In your court, nobody wins, because she knows I'm gonna come and say to you, okay, this is you did this, you did that, you could have done this, you could have done that, irrespective of whose ox is God. And I think that's why I am up to today.
Wow, you're really a handful.
Yeah, that's the one. Absolutely. Sometimes I think, how did my parents cope with me? Because I'm not crazy, that child, especially, where you don't understand the child. And for me, I've always been forceful. I've always been like, my right. I remember when I was 18 years old, and my dad that was the first letter I think I received from someone who had sent me from school, from a guy, and my dad opened it and read it. And I told my dad, you don't have a right to read my letters. I'm an adult. I'm no longer a child. Yeah, I was 18 years old. I'm no longer a child. When I was a child, yes, you could read my letter, but now as an adult, it's my property, and you had no right to open it. And we had a bit of an argument, and we were. But the beauty about it again is the fact that I'm somehow like my dad, and we're always forceful together. And sometimes we would argue for days. I remember it used to make my mom almost run crazy. I'm like, how are you guys arguing for like this? We will have some issue and we'll argue them. So that's why as an adult, I'm able to listen to different opinions. Like I welcome dissenting opinion. And no matter argument, sometimes you find on social media and people are unable to hold argument. The next thing they degenerate into insults and abuses and all of that. No, mine was that I argued with my father. So, of course I can't insult my kids. It's all about facts and freedom. So that's why even today when people are insulting me on social, I'm focused on the issue. I'll be giving you facts. Because those are the things I had to do with my dad. And sometimes I had to research. And the good thing about my dad was that anytime that he was the one that was wrong, he actually accepted that he was the one that was wrong and I was.
You see, for someone, that's why now you talked about being focused. That's why I say fierce and focused, Aisha. You are married, and you are a Muslim, and you are a woman, and yet the Bring Back Our Girls protest, fighting for a Christian girl who is still being held by a Muslim extreme fundamentalist group, or radical or whatever, terrorist group. For some people, they can't understand it. So tell us about this Bring Back Our Girls movement and your involvement.
Okay, so this is how it goes for somebody like me. I'm Black, I'm a woman, I'm a Muslim, and I wear the hijab. So it's a whole lot of combination. Even when I travel around the world, I mean, there's always that different treatment that you get. At the airports, you're treated differently. You're searched more, you're taken aside when you're doing the first time I applied for visa to the United States. I did that with my family. My husband was given the visa, my two kids were given the visa. I wasn't given the visa, and we had to do a lot of security checks. And it was weeks before they came back, and you could see written on my own visa that okay, I had been cleared, security clearance and all of that. So these are some of the things that I go to. There are some countries you want to go to, they don't want to allow you in. I'm like, oh, okay, keep your country. There are hundreds more other countries that one can visit. So basically that's it. But for on the issue of the Chibok girls, I don't see Christian girls. I don't see black girls. I don't see girls from Chibok. I just see human beings. I just see little girls, daughters who had gone to school to get education and they were taken away. And for me, for whatever I do, that's always what my base is on. It's not based on biases, gender bias, political bias, administration bias, regional bias, just like we have in Nigeria. Because when we talk about administration bias, there are people who are ready to talk about Dapchi abduction and Leah Sharibu, but they will never talk about Chibok girls abduction because it happened under a different administration, an administration that they like. And there are people who have spoken about Chibok girls abduction, but will never speak about Dapchi and Leah Sharibu because it happened under administration that. So I call all of this administration bias. And so for me, basically, it was just girls had been taken away. And whoa, as of that time, my daughter was 12 years old and my son was, how old was he? 2014, he was 15. And I was like, what? How can we allow children to be taken away? And for me, that was the reason why I spoke up. I'm married to an amazing human being. Not just, I don't even want to say just an amazing man, but an amazing human being, a man who is secure. He's a secure man. He's not a man who feels threatened by a woman or feels threatened by his wife. He's the feminist. He's the number one practicing feminist that I know. He's always there fighting for women's rights, and he doesn't just fight for them. He makes sure he gives that enabling environment. So for me, so that was a huge plus on my own side. The fact that I have somebody in my own corner who's always rooting for me. And I know in those days when we started the Bring Back Our Girls movement, there were a lot of people who would say to my husband, "Why are you allowing your wife to do this? Why is your wife on the street?" There was one actually. He works in a company that I distribute for. I'm a businesswoman anyway. And then he was like, "Oh God, how do you allow?" And my husband looked at him and said, "If your daughter was amongst the people that were taking away the Chibok girls, would you want my wife to shut up?" And the man was quiet for a moment. And for me, that was just the essence of it all. And I have a very supportive family. The Bring Back Our Girls movement for me, one of the things is that, let me just go back before I come to the Bring Back Our Girls movement. I turned 40 on December 12, 2013. And when I turned 40, I realized that I was one of the problems of Nigeria. I was one of the problems because I was silent. I wasn't speaking. Growing up as a child, I hated Nigeria. I hated the injustice that was going on. I came from a very poor family. My father was well-to-do. At one time, he lost everything in the 80s. And we were extremely, extremely poor from then on. He never recovered. And I knew what it was, just living in a ghetto. I grew up in a place called Panahudu in Kano, and just living in a ghetto and not having food to eat, going to school in the morning without food and coming back not expecting lunch. All my friends were married off at the age of 11. I had no friend, no girlfriend. We were all married off. I grew up in a community where girl-child marriage was, the top thing. And that's my husband. And it was so common. So, and when I was writing my SSC, I wrote my SSC in 1991, and I knew I wanted textbooks. I couldn't get textbooks. I was begging people to get me a textbook so that I can read and pass and get A's, but I never got those textbooks. So all of that hatred. So when I after I finished school, I started business right away. It's 20 years that I've been doing business. I started my business in the year 2000. I've never worked in my life, and I have no intention of working. When I see people talking about this appointment, I'm like, look, I'm not ready to do an appointment. I can't go to office. I love to be accountable to myself. I can't go and be doing yes or yes or yes ma for anybody. No way. They will even sack me the first hour. I won't even last 1 hour. My big man, they will sack me. So when all of that said, so after I finished school, I started business.
Hold on, Aisha. She attended Bayero University, Kano, from where she graduated with a BSc second class upper degree. That is 2-1 in microbiology in 1999. Now, her quest for further knowledge led her to Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, from where she obtained MSc, Masters in Pharmaceutical Microbiology. The reason why I had to let you know this is to know that it's not Olodo that we are talking to. This, yeah, not, you see some people, when you see activists shouting, you see this mad person, go and sit down. You're a riffraff, or you're charlatan. No, this is a master's degree holder. It's not, this person is not just an anyhow person. And you hear she's a business person, she has never worked. For those of you, because I see a lot of people talking, hey, this one, now appointment she want. Now you hear what, it's important that you listen when people are talking. Sorry, my dear, continue.
Thank you so much for that. And I actually started my PhD in the year 2000.
Yes, I did.
2007. Sorry, 2007. I started my PhD.
Yes.
But me and my lecturer, we just couldn't agree. I mean, it's in Nigeria, my goal was to have done my PhD before I was 30.
Yes.
I ended up doing my master's for 5 years. Five, and I was the first to finish in my set. That's how bad schools are in Nigeria. Just like that, one thing or the other. 2 years after I finished my defense, I was still waiting for internal defense. I was still waiting for external defense.
Because
the first year,
because of your
didn't
radical,
do anything.
Because of your...
No, it wasn't particularly me. It's the system of the school. The first year we didn't do anything because they couldn't fix the timetable. One whole session went.
Wow.
And so I was the first to finish from my own state. And I said, a lot of people do. When I started my master's in my PhD in 2007, and 2 years into it, I had not started because me and my supervisor had not agreed on. I was like, come on, I knew I was never going to work with it anyway. I just wanted to get the degree and just drop them. And I walked away from it. And I said, that's one of my regrets. I shouldn't have walked away from it. I should have stayed on and continued.
Okay.
But anyway, back to my line of thought. Yeah. So when I finished school, I needed to work on myself. I knew what poverty is. In Nigeria, if you're poor, you're faceless, you're nameless, you're voiceless. You're not seen as a human being. Every dignity is stripped away from you. The number one crime in Nigeria is to be poor. If you're rich, you can get away with anything. And so I knew how we were not dignified because we were poor, and I came from the wrong side of town. And so I needed to work on my financial independence. And that was what I did up until 40. And so when I got to a stage where I can say, yes, I can speak now. You can't come and tell me that you're going to take the career away from my man by the grace of God. I can look you in your eyes on national issue. I've always spoken on, smaller issue. In my schools, they know me. Even then, I knew students who wouldn't, when I was in the university, they wouldn't stand with me when I was at either an admin block or something, because they say, Aisha, because I took everybody on, whether you're a lecturer or not. I don't care. If you do something, I'm going to come after you and say it as it is. And somehow I always thought that I'll be expelled one way or the other, but I never got expelled, because at the end of the day, whatever I was saying, I was fighting for the truth. It's not something I'm not making up. And I'm this always respectful to them. I'm always like, yes, sir, good afternoon, sir, good afternoon, my kind of person. So when I turned 40, I said to myself, you are now the problem of the country. The way you used to hate adults who didn't take care of Nigeria, who allowed the corruption to go on, you are now one of those adults, and you're failing the younger generation. So I started looking, okay, what are the things that I was going to speak on and take on? And then Buniyadi happened in February of 2014. Boys were slaughtered in a school in Nigeria, at Buniyadi. So there was a march for that. I wasn't really on social media. I didn't get to see that. And then April 14, of course, 2014, Chibok girls were taken away. And April 30th, 2014, the first march for their demanding for their rescue was done. And I was part of that march. I remember I was in the gym and one of my friends said, oh, there's going to be a march for Chibok girls. And I said, I thought they were all brought back, because, remember the early days, that was what the military said. So I heard it on radio, and they said they had brought all of the remaining 8, and I was like, oh, they will soon get back the remaining 8, and I moved on. I'm not somebody who reads newspaper a lot, because I read books, but I don't like newspapers and news, current news, because of all the gory, details that you get to see.
Yeah, sure.
It affects me, so normally I stay up there. So I was surprised. He said no. So immediately I heard that at the gym. I thought my husband that, they said they're going to do those guys that were taken away, that they're going to do a match for them, and I would love to be there. So he was like, sure, go ahead. And then I went to the market. I bought a hijab, the red hijab because they told me the color was red, and I normally don't use bright colors, so I brought red hijab, and then that was it. I was out there making the man. So for me, it wasn't even about who they are, who are they from. I didn't even know what I never heard of Chibok before Chibok gets abduction. And so for me, it was just being there. Initially, let me say this to you. Initially, I was fighting for Chibok girls because I'm a mother, because I have two children, and if anything ever happens to them, anybody take them away, I'll be more than on the street. But
Yeah.
as I went on, by May 2014, I realized that I was there because I was the Chibok girl. As of that moment, I think 23 years ago, I was a Chibok girl. In 1991, I was writing the same exam they were writing, and we were also poor. And I realized that if I was taken away in 1991, my parents would never have been able to say anything because they were poor. And you remember what I said earlier: if you're poor, you're faceless, nameless, and voiceless in Nigeria. So they would not have been able to speak for me, and I'll probably be dead if nobody stood for me. So I was no longer standing just because I'm a parent. I was standing for the little girl that I was, and I knew that if I give up on Chibok girls, it would be that I've given up on the little girl that I was, that yearned for help, that cried for help, and never got that help, and I knew I could never do that.
Wow. Let me play another video, because when people see you, normal, and they'll be asking, what is it about this woman now that you say is fierce, and so from time to time, I need to, I need to bring them back to the person that we are talking about, so they don't kind of forget what we're dealing with here. So I got this video. Let me see this video here. Hold on one second, guys. I want you to see this video. This was you, I think, protesting in UK. Yeah, this was you protest. But this one was
Black Lives Matter.
yeah, the Black Lives Matter. Yes, this was a recent one. Where is it?
Yeah,
Hold on.
that was March this year or something like that.
Yeah,
Because during the lockdown.
yes, 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 during the lockdown. So let me play this one. Let me play this one. That's just to let people know that you're still doing what you're known
Matters
for.
the most. It's our humanity that matters.
Yes.
When
Yes, yes,
When
yes.
COVID-19 came, it didn't discriminate. When COVID-19 came, it didn't ask who was black, who was yellow, who was green, who was purple. I'm not a color. I'm a human being. My humanity. Woo! When you're sick and you're in the hospital and they say to you, you need blood, do you ever ask whether it is black blood from a black person? Or a yellow person? Or a green person? All that matters at that moment is the pint of blood that you will get. And then why do we discriminate? Why do you feel? Why do any of us feel that we are more human than any human? No human being is more human being than any human being. Black Lives Matter.
Whoa. So this
Oh my
is
goodness. Black Lives Matter,
This
of
is
course.
the
And I
fear-
tell you something, my brother.
yeah.
I always say, look, until Africa gets its acts together, until Africa gets up economically, Black lives will be treated anyhow all over the world. And all of this thing is all about economics. It's all about the power you have economically. I mean, once upon a time, Chinese life was looked down upon. Today, you don't look down on them like that. And so it's very imperative that we all work and get our nation, our continent on
Sure.
track.
Sure. Aisha, the one that really, really fascinates me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, is, let's zoom in now into Nigeria. You are just absolutely like, you don't like General Muhammad Buhari. You can't tolerate him. And you are not, when you speak so fearlessly. I'm telling you, when you have done videos about Muhammad Buhari that nobody, people that are watching the video are more scared watching the video than you that is making the video. I'm telling you, people are watching the video and they are looking left and right. I'm like, don't nobody's it's just the video you're watching now. It's not you they are coming after. And so I want to let's talk about the situation of this country called Nigeria.
Mm.
The situation
Ah,
that Nigeria is in right now.
you know, what's the worst thing that Muhammad Buhari can do to me? Kill me. I'm gonna die anyway, and by the time he come and meet me there, I'll still continue harassing him for his incompetence. It's as simple as that. The thing is that, so for me, if you remember what I said earlier, by the age of 10, I was either between 9 and 10. Maybe I wasn't even up to 10 because I knew that time Buhari had not taken over. He took over when I was 10.
Can you
19.
imagine? Just stop right there.
Yeah.
This person that is still there, these people with his gang, they when you were 10 years old,
Yeah,
look at
when
you
I was
today
10. Yeah.
having to deal with people that were already in government when you were 9, 10 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
30
I turned
something
10
years later,
on
you're still dealing with
I
them.
yeah, did the same thing. I turned 10 on the 12th of December 1983, and Buhari's coup happened on the 31st of December 1983.
You
So
see
I
that?
knew but I know this particular incident hadn't happened when I made that decision. So I should be less than 10. When I said to myself, the worst thing any human being can do to me is to kill me. And I'm gonna die anyway, so it's not really the worst thing. And I remember even as a child, when you flogged me, I would not cry, I would not move, I would not flinch, I would just be blank. When you're finished flogging me, if you want me to bring out my hand, I do. If you want to flog on my
Wow.
body, when you're done flogging me, I will move away. And it's so frustrating to adults when a child refuses to show emotion.
I
They
know.
want a child to be crying and shouting. I never did that. So for me, in the issue of fear, I don't fear people. I respect people because my life is my life and it's only God that controls what happens in my life. I can drop dead today and that's it. So I don't believe like I've said before, die not die. Now only one die with death. And anyhow way that died, so that died with be. It's either a bullet in the head or on your bed. You are still dead. I mean, we earlier on we spoke about a child with Boswell. I mean, he was living his life, but yet cancer came. As I'm speaking, I don't know when I'm going to die this moment. And there's something I always say, which people just maybe they just say. When I made that statement, for me, it came from a point of very deep thoughts and retrospection, a point of wow, it could be me. Where I said, yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors, and tomorrow's victims would be today's survivors. Today's survivors are those of us who are alive. And I always ask, who is next? I said something also, that those who have been killed before will not be killed again. The next to be killed are those of us that are alive. Also, who is next? Yesterday in Nigeria, there was a helicopter crash. 2 people died. One is in intensive care. They woke up in the morning like every one of us, and 2 are no longer there. So for me, these deep things are the things that have helped me all throughout my childhood. I live a life of this moment. I don't have the next second, not the other second that happened, just this second, and anything can happen. So for me, it doesn't stop me from. So that's the reason why I can say what I want to say. I didn't start today. I said it to my teachers in primary school. I said it to my teachers in secondary school. I said it to my parents when I had to. And no matter how angry they are, they will come back to the fact that what I'm saying is the truth. I've never come out to lie against the president. I've never insulted the president. Although some people think that when I say the president is incompetent, is clueless, is corrupt, is inept, and a failure, they think these are insults. These are not insults. These are statements of facts. The president is actually clueless. He's actually corrupt. He's actually inept. He's actually incompetent, and he's failing the nation. And the moment he stops doing all of this, voila, we won't say he's doing this thing. So for me, the greatest tragedy is for one not to speak because you are afraid of being killed or being harmed, or they're going to stop you from getting one contract or the other. I've never done business, a government contract I've never worked in my life, whether in government or private institution. I've never done contracts in my life, whether for government or anyone. So I'm not going to come to your office to say that, oh, because of that, because I've done a video, you're going to deny me a job. You're not going to see me anyway. And I have friends who are in government. I have people that we were friends, they are now in government. That's their personal business. You do your thing, I do my thing. I'm never going to call you to say, oh, please give me a job, or give me the job for somebody, or I need a contract, or I need something. I've never done it, and by the grace of God, I will never do it. And that's the reason why I can call anybody, and I can look anybody in the eye, including the president, and tell him where he is failing. I'll call him out for the wrong that he is doing, without minding whether anybody is going to deny me one thing when I come to their place, or anything. And I always say that the money I'm looking for is not with the Nigerian government. The money I am looking for is with the Nigerian people. I'm a businesswoman. I buy and sell. So when I'm selling my market, I sell it to the Nigerian people. And I think for me, that's the way it is. And I brought up my children to make the answer me. Going back to that Black Lives Matter, guess who invited me to the Black Lives Matter march? It was my daughter. And so for me, it was such an amazing joy. I used to take her for protests. I've seen many people who say, oh, bring your children school abroad. Why don't you bring them back to come and do protests? My kids have been on protests in Nigeria several times. We've been together with them on the streets marching. Where were you? Where were you and your parents? We weren't anywhere. The people who say to me, where are your children? Why are you not bringing them? And I see people.
Sorry, Aisha. It's somebody would think, and this is why when I look at you, I didn't talk much with you before this interview. You know that very well. I didn't go through the questions, I try to do that so that it allows us to communicate, allows our interview to be pure and raw, not like scripted. And I have this connection with you, like we've known each other for a very long time, and we can blend because this thing you just said now, somebody asked me, hey Chidi, you're living abroad, you want other people's children to come and protest. You know what I did? I went back and I brought pictures and videos of me and my children protesting here in Canada several times on the street. So I now said, these are my pictures of my children. Show me your own children. The discussion ended. So when I heard you saying it, when I heard you saying it, I'm like, wow, this is like deja vu. Exactly the same line. I said, these are my own children. Show me your own. And the matter ended. Absolutely. And I told him that these my children, they don't live in Nigeria. They don't go to schools in Nigeria. They don't use the facilities there. They are well taken care of. But still, they are fighting for something that is happening, the mess that is going on where it's the way you bring up your children. And you know, Aisha, you said something, and that's what I want us to quickly address or focus on. People are so afraid of dying. I don't get it. You see, the people.
But you know the irony? They're dying every day. Exactly. And yet, I've done a video on that. I said, you are afraid to come out to protest to die, but bad governance is killing you every day. When bad governance kills you, you are blaming witches. You're traveling on a road, and there's a pothole that's supposed to have been fixed, or the road was supposed to be alive, and yet there's an accident, and the person dies, and you say witches and wizards. No. Which witches and wizards? No. It's somebody who has taken up the money. It's corruption. It's bad governance. You have sickness. The person has cancer. There's no hospital where they can be treated, and there's no money, and the person dies, and you say that the enemies. Which enemies? We don't have healthcare system.
Exactly.
And you know, if somebody needs dialysis and the person has kidney failure, he can't get dialysis. You are doing safe, so we are raising money. No healthcare system. The person dies. You're blaming village people. Which village people?
Exactly. And you can't talk because you say if you talk, they'll come after you.
Yes, they will come. But I said to them, more people have died in their homes due to bad governance than people have died at protests. But you know, one thing I see is that excuses are like shoes, and you always find the one that fits. So people will make excuses for anything. And then cowards will always find excuses for being cowards. So they will say anything. That's the reason that they will say, where are your children? And I see there are quite a number of people who are so angry, for example, that my children's school abroad. And I'm like, let me tell you something. I I grew up poor. You know what I mean? They oppressed my father. They try to oppress me. None of their children is going to oppress my own children. So because of
No,
that, I worked
no,
hard to ensure
Sam.
my
See,
kids got the
I have
best of
paid my
education.
dues. I see you first of all. Oh
Exactly.
no, no, no. I paid. You do 100 of what I do. I've done first of all.
Absolutely.
Do that first of all before you begin to tell me about. Is there
Yes.
grace? Is there men?
So now the thing with honesty, but you see, there is this anger because first of all, like you started earlier, they assume that because you're speaking on issues, that means you're hungry. Because and for me, because even like for example, when I joined the Bring Back Our Best movement, when people would see me, because I had this unassuming character. I had this kind of long dress, black, that I had the same kind of hijab. I think I had about 7 of them. I wore them. So you even think that I'm wearing the same clothes every day if you're not very
Yeah,
vigilant.
yeah.
And I don't make any this thing. I just stand there. I just do. So a lot of people see and just begin to think, oh, this person is for until later on, of course, when people saw the different part of my life. My kids, even when they were in Abuja before they came abroad, they were attending the Regent Secondary School. The Regent Secondary School is one of the top schools in Nigeria where you have children of governors, children. That was why the other time El-Rufai was trying to drag me online and come after. I'm like, guy, we were parents in the same school. I didn't know you on the street. I knew you as a parent, and you know me.
Exactly, exactly.
I
Like
played
I was in
exams.
Abuja.
And even then, the vice president child during December, they were he was classmates with my daughter, the vice president's son. December was classmate with my daughter. And I said to people, if it was my daughter's school that children were taken away, I won't come to the street because I'm the nobody there. Because it's all senators, all of these children. When they did graduation, this the former emir of Kano, Lamido Sanusi, his son and my daughter were classmates. We did graduation together. We were all parents in the same school. And then when my kids left there, they came over. My son was already in England when Chibuoge's abduction happened. He had to leave Nigeria because my son is dyslexic. So in Nigeria, we don't look into learning disability. There is no place for him. So we had to send him into England when he was 14. And that was in 2013. He was even in England when he heard about the Chibuoge's abduction. And they've been to schools here, even here in England, they've been to the top schools. I mean, I come to the airport, you know that unassuming thing you see. I mean, my hijab and everything. I go there, I give them my passport. Even in UK, I find that. They're like, oh, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I'm here to see my kids. Then when they were in Godin's, they're like, oh, okay, where did they school? I'm like, Godin's team. See, oh. Then there was one that said to me, oh, my wife used to be a cleaner there. I'm like, oh, that's me. And then you now have this shift of respect.
Yes, of course. Let me reveal a secret. Let me tell you something. When I saw you at it was at the Unity Fountain. I saw with Obi Ezekwesili and all of you doing all that protest. It was the picture that I saw. So then I'll see you carrying microphone. I mean the megaphone, because I didn't hear audio then or video. So I was like, I was looking for the main people who are talking. This one will just come and maybe you'll pray. Maybe you just prayed for the people, Until we went to that with Omoyele Showore. I was in Nigeria then. We went to that conference of the alternatives or something.
Oh yeah, Summit of the Alternatives.
Summit of the Alternatives. And then when it was your turn and you came from the back and there was this thundering voice in the hall. You were giving, it was like a recitation or something, and you walk from the back to the front, and then they said Aisha Yesufu. I'm like, my goodness, is this the person? And you blew me away that day. You're tall and with the black. It was like, honestly, you represent what every woman who is wondering whether a woman can do certain things. You represent what, if they are not sure that they can be, what they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And it is important for women in Nigeria, anybody who thinks, or you talked about giving excuses, everybody who is out there giving excuses, if I come, they will say I'm this, they will say I'm that, and that. When they look at you, look at what you have done, and something else it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
The people who seem to champion these things, I come online I shout, I make noise, I carry placard, I behave like a madman. A lot of people who are doing this are not really feeling this thing directly. Oh. It's not. I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
I'm not prouding. Let me use the word. I'm not
yeah.
prouding when I tell you I'm comfortable. I don't have to do this thing. But you that is living in the thing, you that is feeling the thing, you are still the one that is attacking me. You're still the one arguing with me why I should be doing what I'm doing. I don't get it. Why does it happen that way?
Well, Stephen Biko said it, that the greatest weapon of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. So these are people who have been oppressed and their minds have been taken over. And so you find out that they are in an abusive relationship with their leaders, and they would rather defend those leaders so that, oh, maybe they will have mercy on them rather than, fight for their own rights. And you have a lot of people who, because they've given up their mind, they don't think they can be anything. And so what they're just doing is praying for a miracle. And a lot of Nigerians have abdicated their responsibilities to God. And that's one of the things I said. I say Nigerians fight for God and leave their fight to God. When it is God matters, they will carry it on their head. They will kill and maim and destroy in the name of God. But when it's for them to fight for their own right, they will hand it over to God and say that they are praying. That's what we do. And then we have these religious leaders also who have connived with the political leaders to enslave the people more. And so they use that to keep the people as subjugated. And you see that even Nigerians are actually angry with people who fight for them. And especially when they know that, for example, they won't be angry at the children of the president or the vice president or whoever having children abroad. But they are going to school, but they are angry that you and I can afford to have children abroad. And I'm like, I'm using my own hard-earned money. I had to work hard. Exactly. I had to deny myself a lot of things. I had to.
It's not government money. I didn't steal government money. I'm not the people.
Exactly. And then people who are in government who have gone through this, you're more happy for them to use your money rather than that. So I think it's that complex where they don't think they're worthy enough, and then who is it that they can fight? They can fight the people who are fighting them. But one of the things for me that I've said, I've always taken on about Nigeria is that for me, I'm fighting for the unborn generation. I'm fighting for the unborn generation that are on their way to Nigeria, the way I wish others had fought for me before I was born into Nigeria. I mean, if they had thought about me before I was born into Nigeria and fought for me to have a great Nigeria, I wouldn't be doing this fight that I'm doing this way. So for me, that's what I'm going to do. And I always say that no matter what Nigeria throws at me, I'm not going to give up on Nigeria. And I don't want to be an irresponsible parent. Our parents left a failed nation to us. They handed over a failed nation to us. I'm not going to hand over a failed nation to my children. And so for me, I always say Nigeria must work in our lifetime by the grace of God. And we must all put in the work and get it going. And there are people who say that they do not believe in Nigeria. I'm like, fine, if you don't believe in Nigeria. Like Henry Ford said, he said, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Either way, you're right. So do your thing. But I don't believe in Nigeria. Just allow me to keep going. And we will get there, whether they like it or not. Okay. And, right now they are trying to, let me just add this quickly, they're trying to, do everything to pass this social media bill where it will be a crime for us to criticize government. The very day they do that bill and I'm there, I'm going to, in short, I'm doing that video. I'm calling the president the clueless person he is, the incompetent person he is, the corrupt person he is. Remember, the president even teaches corruption on social media, on live TV. When he was asked about Ganduje, being caught collecting those money, what did he say? The president said that, he's surprised that Ganduje didn't have anybody he can trust to collect on his behalf. In other words, the president was giving us expo that he said people he can trust to collect. I'm going to call the president clueless for the clueless he is, and I'm going to call it a failure for the failure that he is. And if that is going to earn me a jail term, fine and good, because I've realized that the revolution needs to start from inside the prison, because the people that are out in Nigeria, they are more in prison than the people that are in prison. So I will go in there, I will start the revolution from there. I will probably emancipate the country. The only thing that will save them is if they put me in isolation. That's where to help them. Otherwise, because the revolution needs to start from inside the prison.
Wow, it's funny enough that you talked about revolution. I'm going to come to that. Just a quick reminder to everybody that you'll have an opportunity to call in into this program when we open the lines. Just hold on. But the number is out there. It's the producer will post the number so that you can call in. Please call in on a direct line so that you will not be cut off. Calling on the direct line so you will not be cut off. But let's continue. Um, Funny you talked about revolution. I'm a member of the Revolution Now movement, and our
Mm.
convener is Omoyele Shore. And a lot of people have said, "Oh, you know what? This is not the time for revolution. You shouldn't be talking about revolution in Nigeria.
Why
Why would
don't
you
they
talk
do
about
their
something
time?
that will cause wahala here?" Let me get your perspective on the Revolution Now movement.
So for people who are saying this is not the kind of revolution, why don't they do their time?
Mm-hmm.
It's division of labor. If
Mm-hmm.
we all meet on the same on the streets, and some are doing revolution, and you are doing revolution later, you are doing revolution ethics, whatever it is, let's meet on the streets, right? Making those demands, our voices will be heard. And it's very easy for people to sit down. And I think these people, what they do is that they want to justify the fact that they're doing nothing. They want something that would justify their conscience that is always pricking them and saying to them, why are you being a deadbeat? Why are you being a waste of oxygen that you breathe in and the carbon dioxide that you breathe out? Why are you being a waste of the earthly space that you occupy? You sit down, you do nothing, you say nothing. In the face of injustice, you're just living. And that conscience that is breaking them. So what they try to do is to look at everything that is being done and they bring it down in such a way they will not be able to say, oh, the reason why we didn't join the revolution is because they are not doing it the right way. All I say to such people, why don't you come out and do whatever it is you want to do the right way for people to see? I have always said it before, and I will continue to say that revolution is imminent in Nigeria. It's either we have a bloody revolution or we have a bloodless revolution. The bloodless revolution is a revolution where we are changing system. And if we don't do anything, we're going to have the bloody revolution. We're already having the bloody revolution anyway. The insecurity all over the country, the attacks, the killings, the maiming, our citizens revolted. They're voting in a criminal manner and they're killing their fellow citizens. And so it's something that we have to take on. Nigeria cannot continue the way it is. We cannot continue to have all the bad governance we're having, the lack of accountability, the lack of transparency, and we think that things are going to be okay. People want to go abroad, people want to go to other countries. All of these countries, people had to put their boots on the ground and fight. The citizens had to wake up. They talk the talk and they walk the walk.
Exactly.
And that is the way they work a great nation. We sit down there. Nigerians think they have a patent to prayer. They think they're going to sit down and do nothing and keep praying and that God is going to come from heavens and solve all their problems. I said to them, look, prayer isn't going to solve the problem of Nigeria because
Maybe.
God has given us the capacity to do for us ourselves, to solve the problems ourselves. And God will not do for us what he has given us the capacity to do for ourselves.
Now, recently, just a couple of days ago, I'm from Enugu State. I ran for governorship in Enugu State. And recently, members of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, were having a meeting, and security officials went there and disrupted the meeting. They resisted them, they reinforced, killed 3 people, came back and said 2 of their men were killed. They can't give us the name of the people that were killed. They can't show us their pictures, but we saw the pictures of the people that were killed on the other side. And a lot of people say, no, IPOB shouldn't have done that. Actually, let me get your opinion with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his agitation and the broadcast he's been making. What is your view of that?
For me, I normally don't bother talking about Nnamdi Kanu. I just stay away from his issues and all of that because this is something that I felt that he's somebody who had power but misused it and hasn't seen the right way to go about his agitation. I mean, there are certain things you call for. You don't call for blood. You don't call for. You begin to call for, like harm to the state and all of that. And for me, I always look at him. I'm like, he had such power and such following, and the likes of which, if he harnessed it properly, which he can still do up to today, he can be a force there, a force for good. a force for saying, let's get things working. It's easy to say, let's destroy. I mean, destruction, anybody can destroy. At the drop of a hat, you can do all sorts of destruction and say, oh, let's boycott the election, let's do. Why don't you come to say, let's look for good candidates? For example, with his voice to say, instead of saying, let's boycott the election, let's not look for the normal people, let's look for people we know we can hold accountable, people with competence, character, capacity. And he says, let's go after these people. Within that region, he is a voice and begin. If, for example, people in the state houses of assembly, in state, in the government houses, going to the National Assembly, from that extraction with the number, they are able to get in people with competence, character, capacity. That is huge. For me, that is major. That's an enormous power that you can use. But I don't see that. And I see along the way, sometimes, and this is one thing that I always say to people, don't let the praises get to your head, neither don't let the insult get to your heart. Because if you don't take time, you begin to deviate and begin to do things that really shouldn't be. Having said that, for me, that's one of the things. And I think most times, I really don't even comment. I think maybe this might be the first time that I've been asked on him, I've really commented. Most times, I just stay of that. But on the issue of IPOB, you understand, it's so annoying that Nigerian police, when they see IPOB, they have liver. When they see IPOB, their chest comes out. When they see IPOB, they know that they have guns. But when they see Boko Haram, they are nowhere to be found. When they see bandits, they are nowhere to be found. And we must ensure that we do not justify nonsense. People that are coming to say that, oh, IPOB shouldn't have had a... Why? Are they not Nigerians? Even if they say they don't want to be Nigerians, don't they have a right to say they don't want to be Nigerians? They have a right to say they don't want to be Nigerians. They have a right to say, oh, we want our Biafra. As far as I am, it's a legitimate cause for me. It's different from some of the statements like the Inamdu we make, oh, Buhari is a clone, or oh, this, the zoo is this, or this is that. Those are different. But legitimately, as far as I'm concerned, they do. And I found out that first now we have in our, what is that, apart from we the people with Nigeria is indissoluble, is menene. As far as I'm concerned, that thing should be taken away.
One indivisible.
Yes, one indivisible, indissoluble. Please, what are you indissoluble about? If Nigeria should have a right to say, look, we don't think this union is working, can we break into our different pieces?
Or can we even come together and discuss the union?
Exactly.
What are you afraid of?
Exactly. That's the discussion we don't want to. We don't want people to have it, and it's wrong. There must be an opening for referendum in our constitution. We don't have that. I find it unconstitutional that we cannot have a referendum. We should have a place where people will sit down and vote. And we say to the Northeast, have a referendum. If the Northeast want to be a Biafra, fantastic. I would love to get a visa and go there. I'm from Edo State. I'm not part of Biafra. And there are other places that say, oh, we are not Biafra. We are just this. And if tomorrow we too want to go our way, Southwest want to go their way, let people go their way. But when that happened, I did a tweet and I said, and my tweet, I can't remember exactly the wordings, but I'll just give you the way I think it was. It said, when IPOB are killed, you justify it. When Shiites are killed, you justify it. When protesters are killed, you justify it. And I said, kindly write the justification for when you are killed so that we will not bother too much. You already save us the headache of doing that. I see a lot of people trying to justify this killings. It's wrong. How do we justify citizens having a meeting and the police coming to meet them and begin to kill them? Why would we say they should not have meeting? They have a right to meeting. The way I have a right to go to Unity Fountain and sit down at Unity Fountain and begin to have my meeting as a Bring Back Our Guest movement member is the same right that IPOP have to go and sit down in a place and have their meeting and do what they need to do. The issue of prescribing them as a terrorist group and whatever, come on. What about the killer headsmen? Why have they not been prescribed as terrorists? Why is it only certain people that are being prescribed as terrorists?
My dear, let's...
I have issues with some of the statements being made by Nnamdi Kanu and all of that, some of the stuff, but it doesn't mean that his agitation is not genuine and it's not a right that he has. And if they want Biafra, so be it. We
Thank
need
you.
to be at the place. Like, something happened recently with when Rufai was disinvited. I called him
To the NBA.
NBA, our NBA executive, and the thing peppered the guy like tomato.
I wa- can you
And
imagine?
that is
Can
the
you imagine
pepper
how he
and
was
the
crying?
speaker.
Can you imagine how he was crying?
Yes, as the pepper and the speaker, because you cannot continue to behave
Come
badly
on.
and expect that the citizens will just fold their hands and do nothing about that. It's quite crazy. And this is Erufai is somebody who publicly behaves so badly, and yet he wants to be praised and seen as doing very, very well. So what I was trying to get at was the fact that with that, all of a sudden, the Northern NBA, whatever, started coming out, the different state chapter that they are supporting him. These are people who have never spoken out with the people that have been killed in the North.
No.
They have never spoken out with people that are dying of hunger
In
in the North.
Southern
They have
Kaduna.
never spoken out about the incompetence and the bad governance from the president or the state government. All of a sudden, they are rallying around, and then they are saying that, they are going to break off, they are going to form their own NBA. And for me, I did a tweet and I said, fantastic idea. Go ahead and break up and do your NBA. But the thing is, also remember, the people, why don't, and I said to them, why this small thing they did to you, one of you behaved irresponsibly and he was cautioned, and you're angry and say you want to break up NBA and form your own. Why are you not asking for breaking up of the country or for restructuring to happen? And also, why is it that the same you people will break alcohol? You say, I'm a Muslim. Yes, we are not allowed to consume alcohol. People are doing their businesses. You go in there, you break up their businesses. I mean, if I'm a Muslim, if I'm in another place where there are certain things that I will do that they prohibit, but they are not supposed to go there and start destroying what I'm doing. And then you destroy it, yet you will collect VAT for alcohol. And I said, why is it that their anger doesn't translate to money?
My sister, see, that's why the reason why we're having this interview, I want people to really understand. The reason why we're having this interview is not, yes, we're talking about issues, but the main reason is that we want to be able to go and see who is Aisha Yesufu. That's what this is all about. We want to know if you are real, because a lot of people, they are accidental activists, or they just happen. They just wannabes. Because everybody is talking, they can come on YouTube, they can carry placard. But when you go back and you study where somebody is coming, and you are able to analyze what made them who they are, then we can know if you're believable or if you're real. From this discussion, it is obvious to us, by your upbringing, by your experiences in life, by certain things that you have done or what you've been involved with, that whatever you're doing is for real. And that's the essence of this interview. Now the lines are open. You may call us right now. Remember to keep your statements very, very civil. If you don't, we will slam you. Anyways, but just before we go there,
I even welcome anything anybody wants to say.
no, it's okay, it's okay.
I'm good. So I don't have a thin skin. Whatever the person wants to say, let him just say it. I listen. I'll listen to you, and so don't
Okay.
even. And then one other thing, I don't even see myself as an activist. I see myself as an active citizen. So I don't do
Hold
labels.
on.
So sometimes you find out labels. It's sort of they put you in a box. So as an activist, you do this. I'm like, please. I'm an activist. Anywhere where I see something, I know like I will talk calm. And if I don't want to do it, now my mom.
All right. All right, Aisha. So, the first caller, tell us your name and where you're calling from, and please make your contribution very short.
Hello, Chidi. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
My name is Eric Wogu. I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Go ahead, Eric.
I just first of all, I want to say thanks for all you've been doing. I've been following it for some time now.
Thank you.
So I have a question, like 3 questions for Aisha, please. First, I want to know, because I heard her saying she was going to do anything to defend Nigeria and all sorts. So I want to know, what does she think about Mazin Nandekano? Because I've never heard her mention anything about it, and therefore, what does she think about it?
Okay. Let me quickly answer that for you. You need to go and rewind this video, because it looks like you were not watching. She just finished talking about Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra just before you called. So let's go to your other questions. But in a summary, she told you that the agitation for Biafra, everybody has a right. She also condemned the killing. But go and replay this video. But quickly ask your other two questions.
Okay, I want to know her opinion. What does she think about the person that calls himself the president, the current person? Does she think that that person is Buhari or not?
Okay, she also addressed that. Ask another question.
I have no question. This is like
No, what happened was I think you were getting ready to make this call, so maybe you stopped watching. Maybe you turned off your video.
Yeah,
You turned off exactly. I know. So what we'll do, because there are so many people calling, go and play back the video. I was asking the questions for you because I saw the questions that people were putting up. So she already attended to these things. Okay, just play back the video and let's take more questions. Okay. But thank you so much for calling.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we have another call, let me also ask a question that people are asking. Recently, a young man was condemned to death for singing, and Ganduje, I think by now, he must have, I don't know whether he signed the thing, but he was supposed to sign it. What is your opinion on that? The caller on the line, please stay on the line. Let Aisha finish.
So before I go on, let me just quickly say something. I think the last caller was asking whether I think the current president is Buhari or is a clone, right? Which I mentioned briefly, though I didn't explain. Of course, it's Buhari. Please, where did this clone thing come up? Come on. When I see people who are really educated and talking about this clone issue, it beats my mind. It's the same Buhari, but the thing is that money good, and he has used our money to get a new life, sort of. You understand? They can change you, stem cells, whatever, all of those. There was one video I did that I said, about what the Botox and whatever. I mean, he used the money. So it's not about any issue of whether it's the way Buhari or it's not the way Buhari. For me, 100% is the man we voted for that is there. But the thing is, the only difference is that before he was, acclaimed poor man, he didn't have access to money and all of that. But right now, he has access to our billions, and he's using it to take care of himself and his personal life. And moreover, even if he is not, please, let's hold whoever is there accountable. That's what we're supposed to do, basically, as citizens. On my position on the killings that was, I've made that clear severally, and I've asked several questions. When does this Sharia happen? When is it selective? Is it a selective Sharia or whatever? In the Quran and the Prophet himself didn't assign anybody to be killed for blasphemy. There are certain things that killings are done. There are scholars who have worked out and said, because Islam is about first of all, the Sharia law, it's for Muslims, it's number one. We follow the Sharia law. Sharia law is the reason why I'm dressed like this. And I see a lot of people have that, are unable to fathom, why do you have Sharia law? We have Sharia law because Islam is a complete way of life. Our every aspect of life is being ruled by injunctions. And we have 4 sources of Sharia. The first source of Sharia is the Quran. The second source of Sharia is the Hadith, which is the saying, the silent approval of the Prophet, what his actions and all of that. And then we have the third source of Sharia, which is that's Ijma, which is consensus of scholars. In Islam, there's nothing like divine. There's nothing like, somebody has a divine touch. No, it's about scholarly ability. So anybody can be a malam, it's like being a professor. So that's what it means. So this ijma, there are scholars who come together and then they have their scholarly opinions, they arrive at a consensus. And then the final one, of course, is qiyas, which is the personal conviction. If there's nothing of this, or if there's differing opinion, you can have your own personal conviction on that. And for me, I don't think what is the key? Why are you sentencing him to death for what? What is that all about? What video? And I've even asked people, what is this message that he has played? I've not even seen anybody who has said to me they have listened to this message that this young man did. And I find it very how do I put it? So I'm looking for the right. What should I call it? Insulting or so annoying that this is a place where Sharia is not done the way it should be done, and then all of a sudden you're saying that, you're going to sentence somebody to death. What about Ganduje that was caught on camera, put stuffing money, allegedly collecting bribe? What happened to him? In Islam, a public officer, any personal gift to a public officer belongs to the state, talk less of collecting kickbacks. And so what has the Sharia court done? Why hasn't it been prosecuted? There's no immunity in Sharia law. So why is he still there? Why is he the one now saying that he's going to sign somebody's death warrant? So I believe for me, it's just about, this political Sharia that they do. They don't do the Islamic Sharia. Because in Sharia, right, you see, you are in the West, in Canada, you don't joke with child support, do you? No. If you don't, somebody can be thrown into jail for not paying child support. It's the same thing in Islam. Islam insists on child support, but then guess what? They don't pay child support. So where is the Sharia law when you need them to put all of these laws together? Where is the Sharia law when you need them to insist that boys and girls go to school? In Islam, you're not supposed to throw your children on the streets the way we have al-Majri on the streets of in the north and everywhere. Every child, girl or boy, is supposed to get educated. As a parent, you educate them and you get them something that they're going to do. Where is the Sharia law when all of this it comes about? And then it is the one that they will do, and then kill the person. That's what they want to do, because it's all about, like what I said, people want to fight for God and leave their fight to God.
Thank you so much. I have a caller on the line on WhatsApp. Please make it brief, because there's been so many calls coming in and cutting you. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Bright Ibokwe from USA. I listened to Aisha before and until now that she mentioned a lot of things, protesting and also trying to change to something. My question is this: if we are protesting, and we are not achieving results, why don't we do things in a different way?
Hold on. We're not hearing you again. Just hold on. It cuts the WhatsApp when that.
Yeah, I think if it's that one question, I've gotten the hang of the question.
Just hold on, Aisha. Let me. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, please just round up now, because another call will cut you off.
Did she understand my question, right?
Yes.
If we are protesting, why can't we do things in a different way? Then let me support my argument. She mentioned about Sharia law. 12 states of the North, they have Sharia law. Yet, we have constitution that says Nigeria is a secular state. Why do we have to Rufai? They want to break apart because of this. So, is it not against the constitution? If we are doing things over and over again and it's not working, why don't we call for Nigeria, everybody to be on themselves when they cannot even get the confab?
Okay, I need to. Why don't we? There are so many intrusions. Okay, thank you so much, Brighty Bokwe. Yeah. There's actually one question that you have not dealt with amongst all the things that he said, because you already talked about protesting, and I played a video.
Let me just say, I think I heard him clearly, so let me just take it so that I'll be able to say
Go ahead.
I'm not taking the first question he asked about is the fact that if we are protesting and we are not getting results, and I'm going to tell you, when did we protest? Do you think those things that we do in Nigeria is called protest? Now, the thing is that Nigeria is a country that when we are talking, we will say we are the most populous nation in Africa. Nigeria has almost 200 million people. Yet, when it is time for protest, we become the scantiest people in Africa. You send 30 people to be on the streets to protest. You call that protest? 300 people protesting, you call that protest? 1,000 people protesting, you call that? Those are not protests. Nigeria has not protested yet. Let 1%, for you to have an effective protest, you need at least 1 to 2% of the population. 1 to 2% of Nigerian population is between 2 to 4 million people on the street. Let even 1 million Nigerians be on the street and see if protests will result to action. Why do you think, if protests don't work, why do you think the government is always coming down on protesters? Why do you think they are, for example, IPOB, when IPOB, even before they come and they go hard on them, they were just having a meeting. They've not come out on the street. Nigerian government has already after them. Why? Because they know the power of protest, and they know that IPOB members can call up a whole lot of people and be on the street at the same time, not just only in Nigeria, but all over the world. So when I see Nigerians try to say that, we've been protesting, guys, sorry, Oga, I think it was Bride, Mr. Bride, we have not protested in Nigeria. Go and check Lebanon and see what protest is. Go and check Sudan and see what protest is. Go and check Egypt and see what protest. You go to the USA, and I think he called it from the USA, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. Go to USA and see what protest. When I went for Black Lives Matter, that my daughter invited me to stay in Aberdeen, see the number, just young children. I think I was the oldest at that protest. They were like my daughter's age mate, university students, and all of that. Come and see them in their thousands and thousands and thousands. That is what protest, not the thing that we do. How many people came out for revolution? Now, were they up to 1,000 people at the end of the day? That's the reason why police can come after them. Check out what happened is it in Finland. When millions of people came out, what they happened? The police themselves were removing their uniform and joining the protesters. But you know what? Nigerians are busy praying, and they are busy abdicating their responsibility to God, and busy abdicating also
fighting for God.
Yes, they're fighting for God, and they are fighting for God. Then on the issue of Sharia, I mean, the Constitution also allows for different sectors, whatever some of the laws they want to do, they can use that. That's why you have Sharia court in the north, and I think, is it customary laws or some Sharia law and the customary law or something like that, both in the south. So there are different things that can be the constitutional. The Constitution does allow it. That is not the main problem. You understand? For me, it's not the main problem. It's like, for example, like for those who agitate for Biafra, and I think this is one of the ways to go, to say, yes, if we can have Sharia being done, why can't we have a devolved Nigeria? That's what is happening in UK. In UK, the Scotland, the United Kingdom is still one act, but different regions have their own laws. They have their own parliament. They make their own laws. There are places where they have they are able to make all the laws. There are places where they don't have rights to make laws, like immigration and security. But there are other places where they have they call it what do they call it? Something, a power of competence to be able to make laws in those areas. So why don't we go that way? Yes, there's this thing here. Let's legitimately begin to fight. But you see what I find interesting about the killings against the Biafrans in the IPOB members in Enugu, right?
Yeah.
I don't know whether now, as of when I knew, none of the elected officials have said anything.
Nothing.
They haven't spoken against, even the governor that his people were killed.
Nothing.
Did not speak.
Nothing.
A good number of the so-called, Nigerians. Nigerians have this thing. There are some Nigerians, for example, I'll bring in Dr. Years ago. You find that people are angry, especially people from the East, are so angry at her because she stood for Chibok girls, because according to them, that was the reason why Jonathan was removed. They do not see that Jonathan's incompetence was the reason why Jonathan was removed. They do not see that.
They tell Shore, same thing that they tell Shore.
Yeah, they also tell Shore the same thing. They do not see that Jonathan refusing to take on the issue of Chibok girls affected it. Today we see Jonathan going up and down to Mali. If the way Jonathan is doing in Mali, he had done so for Chibok girls, for Chibok community, for the Northeast, he would have still done his president. He would have done his 8 years as president. They don't see that. But they would rather come and Dr. Obi Ezekwesili and insult her and abuse her. This is a woman that is always on the streets for them, is always talking. Even this recent IPOP killing, she has spoken about it. But her counterparts, who are also from there, who are busy with their career,
from the same constituency,
who have never said anything when they are being killed. They are the ones that say, these are the ones we are going after. These are the ones we will vote for. These are the ones who, you know what, Nigerians just love to be maltreated. They love to be treated with disdain. And anybody who, Nigerians are in an abusive relationship where, so because of that, they now love the abusers. Anybody that they've been treated so badly that they are suspicious of anybody that
you just nailed it. Thank you, my sister. Let's take this caller has been on the line for a long time. Please go ahead, tell us your name and where you're calling from, and go ahead and ask your question or make your contribution.
My name is Anne Obukoko. I'm calling from Colorado. I want to thank our beloved sister, first of all, Aisha.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for your courage and your doggedness. You've proven to us that what a man can do, a woman can also do it. So you've been a source of inspiration to someone like me and many others that are watching you out there. Just like we know, I don't understand how we see Nigeria, but to me, we only have two tribes in Nigeria: the tribe of the oppressed and the tribe of the oppressors. In the tribe of the oppressor, religion and all these things that divide us in our camp, which the oppressed, it's not dividing them. But the thing is this: we talk and we are still talking. I think we need to do it further. We are not going to get the mass people to come out to protest because they are not well informed. They be tied down with poverty, lack, and the only thing they know how to do is Shebata. People who are supposed to be their servants as public officers are now entitled to themselves and enthroned themselves as master. My question is, how do we break this so that our people will know that these people are supposed to be servants and not master? Because if we don't break this, there is no way we can make our people to stand up for their rights.
Okay.
I'm a Christian, but I hate Christians that says, oh, let's pray, God will hear. No, God is not going to come down in Nigeria wearing buba and rapa and kaftan in the outside area to do what we are looking for. He has blessed us with all the natural resources. He has blessed us with the manpower. But for us to come together as one to fight this battle is the problem. So how do we make our people, especially our women, our children, those whose hope has been dashed into the dustbin, how do we make them to understand that their power is in their hands? That's my question.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anne. Thank you very much, Anne. Yeah, go ahead, Aisha.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think the things that we need to do is, first of all, that awareness creation. We need to talk, and then when we talk, we walk the walk. We need to begin to tell people what is going on. We need to begin to educate people. And what we all need to understand is that education that we have is not for us alone. It's for millions of others who have not had the opportunity to be educated, and they don't know what is going on. They don't know realize the relationship between governance and their lives. And we must begin. And this circle, every one of us will have a circle of influence, and we must begin to use that circle of influence. Most especially the people we meet on a daily basis, the people we talk to, the people are around us, our family members, village members. We must begin to talk to them and educate them. Come to their level and let them know that this is what governance is all about. It's not that, oh, you collect 4,000 naira to vote in people, because for us to fix Nigeria, we have to fix the politics, the kind of people we elect into office. We must get it right, otherwise we will still continue to go around the circle. So people need to understand that when they collect 4,000 naira, this is what it means. I hear a lot of people who say, oh, when people are hungry, how do you tell them not to collect money? Hey, I knew what it is not to have food for money tonight and not eat. And my parents, they will see that dignity. You need to let them know that the 4,000 naira that they collect, that they spend in a week, you are the one that has to now pay for it for the next 4 years. When they come to ask you for their children's school fees, when they come to ask you that they are sick, they need money, when they tell you that they don't have food to eat, these are the times we need to sit down and begin to let them know that the government, the people you collected 4,000 for, are supposed to be the ones to give you enabling environment to be able to take care of all of these things. And so we are enablers in a way. And I think the Nigerians in diaspora, they have a huge power that they are not using. You're just sitting down there. You're contributing to the economy of Nigeria. I think they are talking about 2% of the GDP of Nigeria comes from the Nigerians in diaspora. The money you remit back home, the money you send back to Nigeria is huge. It's in billions of dollars, yet you are not doing anything with that power. What are the Nigerians in diaspora doing to ensure that they become part of the electoral system? What are they doing to ensure that they can vote? We know that, first of all, they cannot pay you 5,000 naira and buy your vote. They cannot pay you 10,000 naira and buy your vote. They cannot use security agents to intimidate. So whatever vote you're voting, it will be out of conviction, and that vote that will really be counted. You know, these people, they won't be ghost people, diaspora and all of that community. So it's a huge factor, and you can influence. You have the people that you are taking care of. If politicians can come every 5 years and give 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira, and control the mandates of the people. You that you are using 100,000, 200,000 to spend on that same person for the next 4 years, why are you not using your own mandate? Why are you not using that power and controlling? When they see these are the people you're voting for, they will also do that, and we can all move all of this together. So I think first of all, we need that education, we need that awareness creation, and then most importantly, the diaspora should fight for capacity to vote. This APC government promised them that nothing is being done about it. 2019 has come to pass. We're already looking at 2023, and then most importantly, there's a need for electoral reform that every one of us need to take part in, because without electoral reform, we are not going to get anywhere. It's going to be deadly. So it's going to be terrorists can come in, shoot everybody, give INEC something, they will write numbers, and then they will go to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court will say that they won, because guess what? The card reader is not recognized in the law.
Thank you so much. And now I have a lot of people calling in. This person has been kept waiting. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello, you can unmute yourself. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello?
Yes, please. Go ahead. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Yes, sir.
This is Oliver calling from Paris.
Okay. Bonjour, Oliver.
Bonjour, my brother.
Go ahead.
So please, I really want to thank our sister.
Yes.
I really want to thank her.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the good job she's doing.
Yeah.
I really appreciate.
Yeah.
But for me, I think the problem we are having in Nigeria is tribalism. No. In the sense, the Yoruba man did not agree with the Igbo man didn't agree with the Yoruba man, so to the Hausa people. So I think the best thing for Nigeria is to be divided. Because when we are fighting for one Nigeria, and then you don't agree with me and I don't agree with you, and this has been happening for so long, so there is no need for us to unite. There is no need for us to unite. Even if we are going to unite, let every one of us fight for ourselves individually. Then when we get ourselves, we can come together and unite tomorrow if need be.
Okay.
Tribalism is the biggest problem. That is just it.
Okay, thank you.
And secondly, sorry, I have one. She said that Buhari is the Buhari we voted for. For me, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because somebody that could speak his language in 2015, all of a sudden he couldn't speak the language. That tells us all we need to know. And he never allowed press conference. Nobody interviews him, unlike before. He never speaks to the people publicly. I think something is wrong somewhere.
Okay.
Something is definitely wrong.
All right, thank you very much. Let's take some other calls, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Aisha, please permit us to take some more calls so that you can now answer the questions together. Go ahead, tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello? Hello, you're on. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Whoa. Hello? Hello? Okay, who is on? Just go ahead and speak. We can hear you. Hello? Hello? Okay. They don't know that they are on. Anyways, maybe you can go ahead and just hold on there because they're going to call. Just hold on. Please go ahead. We'll take 3 calls and then Aisha will go ahead and answer the questions so that we don't keep breaking it. So I'm going to take, yes, I know people are calling. So go ahead, tell us your name, where you're calling from, and please go straight to the question, okay?
Hello, good morning, Dr. Chidi and Aisha. I'm calling from the United States of America. My name is Favor. Actually, I just have 2 contributions. Number one, about saying that the man in Asarok is not the Buhari. It's just a way of making him looking good to say, okay, maybe if it is Buhari, it's going to do better. Of course, that is Buhari. It's him. It's never going to do better. The man is tribalistic. He's not going to do anything good for anybody. He just came to revenge himself of the fact that he was kicked out in 19 whatever 80 something thereabouts, And that's first part. Second part, when it comes to the issue of a protest, and for Nigerians coming out in multitude, in millions, I think that is not going to happen. Because just like the last caller said, tribalism is one major problem in Nigeria. And for a country that is not in agreement, look at Singapore. Look at how they came out in their millions to protest against their government. And they actually had victory. But in Nigeria, Igbo is one side, Yoruba is another side, Hausa is another side. These are the three major tribes that we talk about, of course, more than that. But when it comes, they're not going to come together. And the people are going to continue in this kind of mess forever until Nigeria go their separate way, because we are not one. It's not possible. I never knew how they could have brought that kind of people together, because in the first place, to make it a country, we are never one. That is my contribution. Thank you, Aisha. Thank you for your agitation. Thank you as a woman. I'm a woman myself. We watch you every time from abroad. It's unfortunate that we don't even have confidence to even come home, because we know Nigeria is not safe. Thank you, my dear sister. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Thank
People
you.
want me to make me want to say I'm a woman myself. Okay. Last caller, we're waiting for you. I know you guys wait for the last person and then you pick up your phone and call. So go ahead and call right now. This one you're calling through WhatsApp. You have to make it quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, I tried to call you on your direct line, but it's directing me to another number.
Go ahead. Just
please,
go ahead.
Yeah, calling for
Say your name again,
yesterday,
please. Say your name
yesterday
again.
I happened into a program.
Say your name again, please.
Yeah, yesterday I walked into a program, but I think I prepared for today because of the guests you're having there.
Okay.
And I extend my greetings to your guests.
Okay.
You are having one of the most wonderful guests, since your program started.
Okay.
Because I'm not trying to be a star on your program, but I believe I have information, that can lead to the, saving of the people. That is the most close.
You see, let me tell you what is happening. You must agree with me.
Yeah.
You need to call from a direct line. You see, every time you call, they cut you off. It's okay to be a star. Call me on a direct line, and then I can take this call. Okay, just do this. Okay, I can't. You see, we're not hearing you. I have to keep switching back and forth. Hello.
Are you not hearing me?
Half
if
of
you
what,
can hear me, just
half of what you're
minutes.
listen. Just half of what you're saying, they cut it off because you're talking on WhatsApp and you're in the US. Just call me through direct line. Don't worry. I'll pick your call. Honestly speaking. Hello, please go ahead. No more WhatsApp, please. Go ahead. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please. The next caller.
America in Central Africa.
America in Central Africa. Go ahead, my brother.
Good afternoon, good evening. Hello.
Go ahead. Forget about the one you're hearing on TV. Just concentrate on your phone.
Okay. I greet you, Aisha. Aisha, good afternoon. Salam alaikum. I want to contribute this my own suggestion. You are a great leader. Aisha, this question goes direct to you. Not any politicize anything. I want you to say the fact, because Buhari is not alive. I watched conference of Badami live 2019. If the president is still alive, why? This over Nigeria, Enugu, Southern Kaduna, everywhere. Presidents don't have right. Is it an abomination? The president don't have right to address his people. The president don't have. If he don't come to national TV to address his people, it means that we don't have president. Let us use let us unite and flush this man away. I in Central Africa, what Central Africa go on 2013 to 2016. We know you Africa. We know what's going on. Our president is not alive. I see one interview with the BBC, how they match someone. A man match himself to be an lady. But even if you know the truth, all those big politicians, they know the truth, they don't want to speak the facts. And if you people continue not to speak the fact, this country will collapse. And if it collapse, it will be very, very hot for everybody. Because I know our youth, they are not like in 1967.
All right.
This is my contribution to you. So.
Thank you so much, Emeka. We're gonna go back to Aisha, and then we can take more calls later. Please, we won't take WhatsApp calls anymore. Go ahead, Aisha.
Thank you so much. I think if I heard from the last, let me start with the last caller. He's talking about the fact that I think it's not the president that is there, and we should speak the truth. Well, he has his truth. I don't know what to say all about, but like I know what the second caller did say when she talked about the fact that when you guys say it's not Buhari that is there, it's as if you think, oh, the Buhari would have done differently or whatever. It's Buhari that is there, and we're saying the truth. Even for me, what I would try to say that even if it's not the one that, whoever is there was the one that was voted for 2019, because all of these clone issues started before 2019, right? Can we now hold whatever that image is responsible and accountable and make demands? And, talking about the fact that Buhari isn't speaking to the country, it's because of the citizens. The citizens, a lot of people depend him. We allow them to abdicate their responsibilities. We allow them to get away with a lot of things. That's where the biggest problem we have. Psychophancy is the biggest problem we have in Nigeria. It's not tribalism. It's not religion. It's psychophancy. People who believe when an administration comes in, oh, they're not going to say anything because they love that administration. It is in another administration that they're going to speak, are the real problem that we have in Nigeria. The same people, today, a lot of people are talking about Southern Kaduna killings. When the Southern Kaduna killings were happening in 2014, 2012, 2011, they were not talking. Why? Because they love the person who was in power. I remember digging into Dr. Obieze Kwesili's 2014 tweets where she was talking about Southern Kaduna killings and why is it that the president is not speaking. Now, the president then was Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, which many people, those who were his psychophants, were attacking us for calling him out, just like we have Buhari psychopaths are attacking us today for calling out Buhari. And they were like, oh, why are you making demands and all of that? Someone even said that he was going to shoot her face. He was going to under that tweet for making that demand. If you search on Twitter, you will see that. So this our selectiveness, this psychophancy is the real problem that we have. Coming to the question that protests can't happen in Nigeria, I don't believe that. As a member of Bring Back Our Girls movement, I saw Nigerians come together irrespective of tribe, irrespective of gender, irrespective of age, irrespective of economic status, irrespective of educational qualification, irrespective of our religion. And we came together and we spoke with one voice. And our singularity of purpose was to bring back our girls, was ensuring that the Chibok girls were rescued, and we could do that. And I always say, for people who say that it can't happen in Nigeria, it's not. It's just that we haven't tried it, and we keep saying, oh, it can't happen because different people will not allow it. Let me tell you something about protest. Like you just said earlier, Doctor, you have gone to protest with your children. They've gone. So, like, for example, you're talking about protesting in the West, abroad. A lot of these people started protesting when they were children. They started protesting issues. Go see Black Lives Matter. That was what they were doing. It was all kids, doing Black Lives Matter. You find out that in school, they used to protest. Student unionism has been killed in Nigeria. Parents do not allow their children to come, and they will call you and say, I don't want you to die. Parents do not allow their children to hold them accountable in their houses. Parents do not allow their children to speak up and have a voice. So because of that, it has been killed. It has nothing to do with whether it's religion, it's this, it's that. It's the fact that nothing happens. Recently, a vice chancellor was removed at Unilag, right? And there was nothing, because the students that would have been on the street protesting, these students have been denied that right.
By the same school management. It's the same school. So what are they expecting to say?
Like, I tweeted it. I said, you see now, there is enough tyranny to go around.
Exactly.
When they were killing students, unionism and ensuring that get killed, nothing is done
Eh,
about it. They didn't know that it was going to come to them. So now they
no.
remove
Now they want
a
students to come
people
and protest their removal.
who will
Who?
protect. They've killed him. So these are the fundamental issues we have. It doesn't have to do that, oh, because we have different voices. Let me tell you something. In the UK, they are not the same. They don't speak the same languages. The Scottish people have their own language. They don't like each other. The Irishman and the Englishman don't like each other. They've been fighting for hundreds of years. You understand? And yet they are able to come together in a devolved way. We can't come together and work together. Let's not forget that. That's a very important and very key. And when we talk about this issue of tribalism, I always say, what is this tribalism? Why are we not killing it? Why are we not killing it? The generational hatred that we were handed needs to stop with us, needs to begin to stop right now. And we need to begin to get to a place where we begin to teach our children that it's about humanity. It's not about where we are from. It's not about our religion. It's not about how you worship or what you wear or you don't wear. It's about humanity now, and we need to focus and work on that. So that's something that is very key. But you see, one thing I always say, when I see Nigerians say, let's divide the nation. Wait, can you tell me which part of Nigeria is working right now? Which part of Nigeria is not plagued with poverty? Which part of Nigeria is not plagued with corruption? Which part of Nigeria is not plagued with educational system that is rotting, healthcare system that is non-existent, and all of that? Every part of Nigeria. So what makes you think that if they divide Nigeria is going to work? Do you think we are all the same tribe in the south? Or do you think they are all the same tribe in the north? In the north, there are hundreds of tribes. It's not only Hausas that are in the north. There are Hausas, there are Nubians, there are Fulanis, there are Kanuris, there are Juku, there are all sorts of tribes. In the south side, I'm Esako, I'm from Edo State, I'm Esako. If you look at the south, even Edo State alone, we're so many. You go 5 kilometers from my village, I don't understand what they are saying, they don't understand what I say. You walk another 20 kilometers, we don't understand what each other is saying. That's why Pidgin English is so common in the south. If you go to the Biafra they're talking about, you think the River State, if they speak Igbo, they're saying, you think Akwa Ibom is Igbo, what is it? Ife Modakeke fight and wars, we saw how long it took. Are they not from the same region? So let's stop all of this. When we say additive, Juku, wars, and all of that, are they not from the same region? So when we begin to, we are looking for excuses. We always, instead of us to face our problems and solve them, we're always thinking that it is greener on the other side. Oh, if we separate, everything will be okay. Then when we separate, it's not okay. What? We'll now make another excuse. Even in the same state, you have issues. You see different sections, different places. Let me give you an example. Sometime, I think before, maybe like 2008, 2009, we were living in Kaduna, and my husband was the head, was the this, we had these town council meetings and all of that, and he was the president as of that time. So they would come to our house, we have their meetings, and then they would be done. And so on this day, they had their meeting, and so I thought they had gone, and I came out, and I saw some group of people, and I was saying to my husband, I thought you people have finished your meeting. And he said, no, it's a section of the town that are holding their meeting. So within that town, our chief, then there are different meetings. The Ibos people have their own. The Usogu people have their own. So you see, even in a town, there are this sectional. It comes down to even family. When you now have these siblings and this, or especially if it's a polygamous home, you find out that, oh, this one's wife and this one's children and this one's things and everything. So where is it going to stop? So if we start separating, we're going to separate the country, then separate the regions, then separate the state, separate the local government, separate the ward, and then separate the houses. We should face our problem. We haven't solved our problems, and our problem not being solved is the fact that we have not voted in the right leaders. And I want, especially Americans that are living in the US, to look at the fact that did they ever think, and none of us ever thought that America, we will see what is happening in America today, we will see it before Donald Trump happened. But they voted in a leader like Donald Trump. See what is happening to America today, the kind of things that are coming that you will not believe yourself. You think that you're watching a third country, a third world president. So it's the same thing. You understand that if you put in the right leaders in Nigeria, we will get in the right people. So let's not look for the easy way out. We are always, as people, we are always looking for the easy way out. There's no easy way out. Those countries that we are all staying in and we are feeling cool about them, people had to work the hard way. It wasn't the easy way for them to get their nation back.
Thank you so much, Aisha. Guys, we have less than 5 minutes to the end of the program. I had to call this person that is holding. I had to call you back because you kept trying. So please keep it short. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your own question or contribution. And we'll take two more calls, and Aisha will attend to them, and we will close.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Chidi.
Yeah.
I want to say to you that I really appreciate you,
Thank you.
and especially for me to you, sir, on behalf of everyone, every good Nigerian citizen in diaspora, we love you so much. Thank you for being there for so really, especially. You stand firm even when others are falling apart. Thank you so much. And our guest on the line tonight, Lady Aisha, we thank you so much now also for your love, for your consistencies in Nigeria, to see Nigeria, to see a new Nigeria, a new life in Nigeria progressively. Now, my contribution tonight is this. Either we have Buhari in office, yes or no, it's not our concern. Whosoever that will be there, if he's doing better, we will be glad. So we will not be bothered if it's alive or if a new made Buhari. Now, sir, I've been so much worried over a period of time now. If you remember very well, sir, you hosted a show really on one platform when he said about the corruption in Nigeria. When he said the hush puppy that the Nigeria is yearning about is just a small child. We have the hush daddy in Nigeria talking about the corruption people there. Now, if you remember, it's no more than 1 week that we begin to see the manifestation of his word, hush daddy, in the NDPC. The corruption in Nigeria is now become beating things. Sir, it's very sad. To me now, to my only option or opinion that I see that can make Nigeria work, since they are not ready to give up Biafra or Oduduwa or the other side of Arewa, I think it's better they call for a round-up table where they agreed to create a united Nigeria, where each and every region, especially the northern Nigeria, just like Lady Aisha referred to UK in the United Kingdom, which the Scots have their own independent decision taking and other parts of it. I think it's better to create Nigeria in that way, so that at the end of the day, everything will go for it will become a competition region, and then everybody will be competing to develop.
All right.
You understand, sir? So lastly, sir, please pardon me, sir. I want to also take from Shiwiri again, who said that if Biafra gained their independence today, Biafra will still not have peace. Because if I see Biafra doing well, me that is from Yoruba land, I will easily slow down to Biafra land. I think that is the thing that also happened to Europe and Africa today. If you look at it very well, Europe actually designed Africa to be like that, and look at what it is today. We are moving down here today because we know here is better off. So I think for this thing to actually get balanced, they should redesign Nigeria to become a united Nigeria, so that at the end of the day, everything will come up. We will have a new life. A new life.
Okay, let's take two more.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, caller on the line, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm calling from Germany.
Okay.
My name is Yokechuku. I just want to ask this woman a question. This Aisha a question.
No, hold on now. Hold on. The way you say you want to ask this woman, this Aisha, be a little bit civil. Okay, continue.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because what is she talking?
This is somebody. No, hold on now. Oh, this is Mrs. Aisha. No, hold on, Aisha. Hold on. See, no, hold on. Oh, wait now, Oga, hold on. This is my show. I'm giving you a chance to speak on my show, and my guest is Mrs. Aisha Yesufu. Okay, so go ahead and ask her your question.
Okay, very sorry. Okay.
Thank you.
My question to she is that she is from Benin, as he says, from Benin woman.
Okay.
And now the Muslim want to take all Igbo. Like me, I'm Igbo. I'm from Idemili local government. My name is Yokechuku.
Okay.
So she's proud if we all join Muslim, and we all will be Muslim. So for she, she's very happy that I know that I would like to die instead to be a Muslim. For me, it's better I die. to be
Okay.
a Muslim.
Okay.
So she is proud that all we Igbo will be a Muslim. That's my question.
Okay.
For her,
Okay. Your question is,
uh,
does she want all Igbo people? Is she saying that all Igbo people should be Muslim? That's your
be Muslim.
question. Okay.
Of which for me it's better I die as be a Muslim.
Okay. Thank you.
Because in Germany here I work with people from former Yugoslavia, from Russia.
No, we heard your question. Let's take another question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now we're waiting for the last caller on the program. This is gonna be the last caller. So whoever is able to get in their call. Okay, good. All right, you're the lucky person. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is
You need to turn down your TV or where you're watching us from.
Okay, my name is Chizoba calling from Spain.
Go ahead, Chizoba.
Okay, Dr. Chiri, good afternoon from here, and good afternoon to Mrs. Aisha Yesufu.
Thank you very much.
I already know her from the Bring Back Our Girl campaign with all because our sister
Good.
who accompanied her. You have to give me small time to express what I want to speak here.
No, you have the time, but we don't have the time, so you need to compress
Yes, just
it.
About 5 minutes.
No, you don't have
Something
up
like
to
that,
5 minutes. We had 5 minutes, like 5 minutes ago. So just compress it so that you can
Okay. Let me just speak.
summarize. Thank you.
What I want to ask her, but before I have to throw this light to we Africans, because sometimes we don't understand what being separate, like the last caller said, even if Biafra go, they will not have peace. That is not your problem. What becomes of their own? This is one thing Africans, black people don't reason. I live in Europe here, I go many countries. From one country, they are all Europeans, but they have their own small country making their plans on their own way, but they are the same Europeans. So Biafran separating from Nigeria doesn't mean that we are taking that land of portion of Africa to somewhere else. It's still there. It can still be accessible to you, but let them decide and do their things their way, because the Northerners have different ideology and mindset. Water and oil never stick together. So when we Africans try to make it, let's make it work. For 100 and something years, has it worked? Do we have light? Do we have water? Do we have schools? Because of the system set there does not make these things available. So it corrupts absolutely everything. The good one comes from the east, they corrupt it because that is the system. The good one comes from the north, they corrupt it. So it's better everybody on their own. When our people mess up, we deal with them our own. What when we do them, they will call it Biafran Q. Or when we do it, they call it Biafran Revolution. Let everybody take care of their own. But the problem is, they are of one interest, the oil. Let us speak this thing clear so that everybody will get the problem. If there is nothing like any oil, believe me, the Northerners will not even speak to them. They will go on their own and party their Quran and whatever they want. It's just a clash of interest. So we have to know the truth, and it can begin to set us free. Nigeria is full of psychopaths and hypocrites. From all the whole religious to political, they are all liars. Nobody speaks the truth. That's why they can't tell themselves, even themselves, the truth. They keep dying and why trying to put things together that cannot stick.
Okay.
So this is my opinion.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your contribution. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, we come to the end of the calls, and our sister Aisha will do justice to the questions, and we will round up. Our time is already spent.
Thank you so much for that. I think the other caller, I think was it the first caller on this section, I didn't really hear. That one I was saying that he's Yoruba, and I really wasn't hearing what he was saying. I don't know if you have. I saw you taking notes. I don't know if you have that. So you could let me.
No, it was.
So I can't.
Just
something.
go ahead and answer the one that we remember.
Okay. So let me
say something. But
yeah,
it's okay. He was making more of a contribution
Okay
than a
then,
question.
because I wasn't hearing him at all, and I didn't want to interrupt and say I
It's okay.
wasn't
It's
hearing him.
okay. Go ahead
I
and
saw you
let's
taking it.
let's tackle the one that
Okay.
you have.
So I will want to take on the speaker who said he wanted to. He has a question for this woman, and for me, honestly, I'm not offended. I'm actually a woman, and there are some people who say I'm transgender. Some people call me she woman. Some people said I'm a she male. Anyone is okay. If you call me a man, I accept. If you call me a woman, I accept anything. I don't care about labels, whatever. That's the way it is. So I'm absolutely not offended about that, and I always welcome dissenting opinion.
It's okay.
But the thing, I saw the passion, and I saw the way the man, the way he was speaking. I don't know his name. I'm sorry about that. I think he called him from Germany.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, please, 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 can he not pass this thing the way he's speaking to his children? Because they are a different generation, and we are a broken generation. We were brought up, with generational hatred. We were brought up to hate each other. We must do better. And I see this here. First of all, I think one of the things that I've not mentioned on this program is the fact that my paternal uncle, my father's senior brother, was killed by Biafran soldiers. I don't go about carrying it on my head that I hate Biafrans. I know it's all about the war, and I see a lot of people who come from that anger. I wasn't born when Biafra war happened. I met it, and I know a lot of my generation who weren't born, who carried that anger. And sometimes I say to them, the stories that you're told, ask also your parents and your grandparents what they too did to other people. And I saw this particular last speaker who is speaking, and I see him, when they talk about Islam and all of that, they forget that Islam doesn't belong to the North. It's a religion all over the world, and it's whoever wants to be that wants to practice it. I mean, like you said, would I want all Igbos? What's my business whether Igbos decide to join Islam or not? It's a personal decision. And so first of all, let me go on that.
I don't, and I wanted to correct because you never said on my program that you want Igbos to be Muslims. I don't know where he heard that from.
You think I'm like, of what value is it to Islam if anybody joins?
No,
It's
no,
your
no,
people.
no, no.
It has been
Yeah,
there since 1,004, over
I
1,400
understand.
years ago. It will be there with this thing, whether we join. And I think I'll still come to that. Let me just make this point on the issue that sometimes people forget that we are also minorities who suffer a lot of injustice in the South. I'm a Muslim minority, and a Muslim hasn't been a governor in Edo State. I don't go about fighting that. There are a lot of things that you should change. There are a lot of things that with my hijab I'm going to get, I'm denied. There are a lot of jobs that you're told you have to remove your headscarf because you're a Muslim. There are a lot of things, but we just go about it. We do what we need to do. We don't talk about it. We don't come out and start shouting that, oh, we are being marginalized. It's not because we are not being marginalized. And one of the things that I also want, especially when I see my Biafran brothers, we are all Biafrans. I'm a Biafran. Everybody's a Biafran. That's for me the way I take it. When I see them talking and having this anger, I always like to say to them, why don't you ask also what my people also had to go through? My town was overrun by Biafran soldiers. They killed my father's brother. I'm not carrying it on my head. A lot of atrocities, a lot of our women were raped. A lot of our women were maltreated. We are not carrying it on our head. Everybody has this history. You're not the only one. I know, yes, a lot of atrocities was done in the Igbo land, but that doesn't excuse the fact that when Igbos too were marching all the way on their way to Lagos and they conquered a lot of towns, they conquered my village, they conquered my place, and they went through so much. My husband, as a child, my husband is 12 years older than me, and he's going to be 60 next year, inshallah. He's going to be 59 this December. He went through Biafra, and they had to be evacuated. They were IDPs. They had to be taken away from Awochi when Awochi was overrun by Biafran soldiers. So I need some of them to sit down for a moment and think that it is not only they that atrocities was done to. They too inflicted some atrocity to some of them. And you know what was the bad thing about it was that we faced the wrath of the Nigerian soldiers and we faced the wrath of the Biafran soldiers. Go and check what happened in Asaba, the massacre that went on in Asaba, and all of that. We had issues where we were being killed by Biafran soldiers, we were being killed by Nigerian soldiers, and it still happens up to today. As a Muslim, I'm a minority from the South, a Muslim minority from the South, from a minority tribe. I am seen as nobody, whether in the North or anywhere. Even, for example, I grew up in Kano. In Kano, when there is riot and you see the Hausas are killing the Christians, the Igbos are killing the Muslims, guess what? I get killed. because the Hausa man does not believe that I'm a Muslim because I'm from the south. And then the Igbo man sees me and he sees a Muslim who is northerner, and they go killing. And at the end of the day, a lot of my people get mixed up in the crossfire, and we're being killed and we're being exterminated, and we need to establish that. But we don't go about carrying that generational hatred, because I could see the vibe from him, I could see the anger, I could see the thing. But the thing I want to say to him is this: what's wrong with us? The Abrahamic religion, the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims. Can you please all get off your distance? There are billions of people who don't believe God exists. It's a personal decision. There are billions of people who are doing other religion that is not Christianity, it's not Islam, it's not Jews. Yet the Christians, the Jews, and the Muslims will not allow the world to have peace. You're all making noise all over the place. Can you just shut up and just carry your religion and put it in your pocket and do it as a personal thing? It's your personal business. When I come across to you, I don't care. I'm not coming across to you as a Muslim. I'm coming across to you as a human being who has a right in what I believe in, and I believe what I believe in, and that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And when I see us getting all of this worked up and over the father, do you think why would I want all Igbos to be Muslim? Is it going to add, is it going to change the price of garri in the market? Why would I want all Hausas to be Christians? Is it going to change the price of garri in the market? It's a personal decision and a personal choice. If you want to be a Muslim, fine. You don't want to be a Muslim, fine. And I think before I go on, I'm going to read, there's a chapter in the Quran, because we're going to pass through, where God is saying, oh, you who do not believe. He said, you say, I do not worship. He's saying to the prophet at that time to say to people, and this is for every Muslim, I do not worship those that you worship. Neither do you worship him whom I worship. Nor will I worship those whom you have worshipped. Nor are you going to worship him whom I worship. To you, it's your religion, and to me, it's my religion. I wonder where people get mixed up. Everybody has his own religion. God has given us a right of choice. Choose what you want to do. On the day of judgment, we're going to meet there. And it's like writing an exam. Everybody will write this exam. You give it to a invigilator. Who passes gets promoted. Who doesn't pass? It's either you repeat or one thing or the other. And I think all this thing about religion, you get see people getting worked up. The kind of anger I saw from him now about the fact that, are you trying to make Igbos, Christian, Muslims, he would rather die. If you ask him to bring that anger where bad governance is, the anger will disappear. He will suddenly remember that Nigeria will solve, God will solve Nigerian problem. Why are you not allowing God to solve God's problem? Why are you not being the one championing these so-called problems that are seen as God's problems? So that is one. And I think it's most important. One of the things that I think has been going on is when I see this, APC is an Islamic, they have an Islamic agenda. Buhari has an Islamic agenda. And I will tell you this, and like when you started this program, you said something, why is it that I don't like Buhari? Even in 2015, before the election, I said it, I don't like him, but I respect him. But right now, I don't respect him. For me, it's not about liking whoever is in power. It's about holding them accountable. One of the things that I will say, and I've quote me anywhere and say that Aisha Yesufu said it, is the fact that Buhari does not bring religion into whatever he does. You can call him that he is Fulani, or when it comes to tribe, he's tribalistic. But if you say an issue of religion, I will tell you, I can stand and defend Buhari everywhere. In this, so far, is it 5 years of being in office, he does not bring religion. He doesn't even, when people were saying that he's coming to Islamize the nation, I said, there was a tweet I did that time, I said, has Buhari finished Islamizing his families? Do you see his families in the kind of setting that you say, this one is the fundamentalist or whatever it is that people, sometimes that's what people call us who wear the hijab and all of that. If you are talking of the person who has brought religion into this governance, it's Osibanjo. Osibanjo is the first one that came out and told us that he's a pastor on loan to Nigeria by the Redeemed Church. He go and check the record. He said that and it was reported. He's the one that at every time he will tell us about how he's a pastor, how he's this, how he's that. Buhari, that one doesn't even care. That one don't care for religion matter. But if you talk about his body language and everything for Fulani, I will say, I can agree with you. But when it comes to Islam, no, he doesn't. So I wonder where all of this issue of, they're going to Islamize the country, they're going to Christianize the country, all is coming from. And I think what people need to do is that people need to invest in their critical thinking. It doesn't make sense you travel out of the country, You see things happen. In Germany, how many people go to church? How many people go to mosque? How many people believe in God? They will look at you and say, well, what are you talking about? There's nothing like God. We make our decisions. That's how they behave. And then, so why do you think that that is what is controlling? And I think the basic thing we need to do is that people need to invest in self-development. People need to invest in critical thinking. And that's where the issue of the fact that our educational system was destroyed is really affecting us, because we have people who grew up who just swallow anything they are being told without looking at it and critically say, no, this can't be, without looking at it and say, oh, what if, without even challenging it. People are mentally lazy and they are not reading, they are not challenging themselves, they are not physically, they are not doing personal development, they're just holding on to these archaic things that they were passed on to them when they were little kids, and they carry this generational hatred on. We must ensure that we kill the generational hatred. We must ensure that we stop that. And most importantly, we must unlearn, relearn, unlearn, relearn, and unlearn again. This is the machine age. It is not no longer the industrial age. What you were told, it doesn't have to be right. Challenge yourself and ask yourself and be able to have dissenting opinions. Welcome dissenting opinions and have two thoughts in your head. It's very important. I think the biggest problem we have in Nigeria is issue of critical thinking, which is lacking, and that has to come to education. Before I end up, I would like to say that the greatest injustice in Nigeria is that access to good quality education is dependent on the economic status of one's family, and that is a crime. Thank you. Yeah, I hope you are fully convinced and not confused that, that Nigeria must work in our lifetime.
Yes, my mic was off again. Oh, sorry about that. But you brought it down home. You closed very well. Thank you so much, Aisha. Just like so many people have said, for being who you are, for representing, for standing for truth. You have weathered the storm. Um, People have a proverb that uh, to the person who works hard, actually they say the reward for hard work is more work. Exactly. And the person whose job is not done, they can't get tired. You will still you still have obstacles, you will still get resistance. That is a proof that what you're doing is actually having impact. Because I tell people, if nobody is challenging you, if nobody is talking about you, if you're not, then maybe what you're doing is not affecting anybody. Okay. So thank you so much, and we'll continue to follow you. We'll continue to promote you, however, which way we can.
Thank you.
I want you to briefly tell us how people can be part of what you're doing. I know you have so many projects out there. You have a foundation, and you're doing so many different things. Tell us briefly how someone can be part of what you're doing and support.
For me, basically, I have an organization called Citizens Corp where I teach financial literacy, and also basically it's self-funded. I do that with my own funds from my own business. But the thing I want people to do is to talk about issues, to be active citizens, to not just give up. It's very easy. It's the easiest thing to do is give up, and also realize that when you're living history, it's a very long time. Today we talk about Nelson Mandela spending 27 years in prison, and if we just say it in one sentence, those 27 years were actually long. It was almost like unbelievable it wouldn't happen. I remember what Nelson Mandela said. He said it's impossible until it's done, and that's the thing that we should all take on. And also, let's leave us with Desmond Tutu's word where he said, "If you take no sides, then you've taken the side of the oppressor." So keeping quiet and looking the other way is not the option. Don't think because you're in diaspora it doesn't concern you. It concerns all of us, and Nigeria has a way of doing us anywhere we are. And so it's very important. Please speak on issues. Please make demands. Please be an active citizen. Use your power and influence. Talk to the people back home, tell them what they should be doing, tell them the relationship between governors and their lives, not to be, oh, let's break up, let's break that. NDDC, you see all the scandal going there. The Niger Delta, all the billions that they have collected, what happened to that region? The region is as impoverished as the other regions who haven't gotten anything. So it's the same problem we are facing. And please, 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 those of you in diaspora, can you please come together and fight for your right to vote? You need to be part of the electoral process. We need you because you are one undiluted block that they cannot intimidate, they cannot pay you off, and then most importantly, you will have the capacity to make the decision you want to make, not the decision you're forced to make. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you. Thank you. Bye.
That was our sister Aisha Yesufu signing off there, and she has a YouTube channel, and we posted it right there on our chat room. So please click on that link and go and subscribe to her channel. It is free of charge. Some of you, when we say subscribe, you think you have to use money to subscribe. Please, you're not using money to subscribe. It is just so that people can do people can support what she's doing. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody who was out today. Thank you for your contributions. Hey, listen, you don't have to agree with what she's saying. I don't have to agree with you. We don't have to agree with each other. But the most important thing is that we are focusing on the issues, the things that we agree on, which is that the people, the system in Nigeria is completely non-existent. It's a shamble. It is clueless. It has to be destroyed. It has to be pulled down. That is what thing we all agree. However you want to go about it, it is fine. Whatever you believe is how to bring it down. That is what, because they have failed us. When a system has failed, it is of no use to anybody. Thank you so much. Someone says we can't hear you. You still can't hear me. I hope that was before. I hope you can hear me now. Please refresh your system. There was a time the mic was down. And before we go, don't sign off. I need to let you guys know, for those of you who are asking about protests, I want you to know that yes, you can protest even if you cannot come out to the streets. We have made it a little bit easier for your voices to be heard. The Revolution Now movement is organizing a revolution, but it's going to be virtual first, and this is preparing us for the mega protest that will happen on October 1st. But this one is happening on the 5th of September. It's going to be like what happened in Mali. They are proposing that what happened in Mali should happen in Nigeria. See how Malians came out. Remember what our sister said, that all this one we are talking about protests. We never do protests in Nigeria. We are just joking. So let us come together on 5th of September by 4 p.m. Nigerian time, and let us protest online. Let us lend our voices. What you're seeing there, the flag on the left is the flag of Mali, and the one on the right is the flag of Nigeria. So what they're doing is, let us transfer what happened in Mali to Nigeria. That is what they are saying. So please come and lend your voice. If you're a Biafran, come there and lecture people on what should happen. Someone says, why announce this protest? The reason why we're announcing this protest, this is not the revolution now. No, this one is preparing. This one is preparing. No, the real revolution, it will not be announced. It will not be televised. The real revolution is coming. What we are doing is we are warming up. We are training. So please make it a date with us. Also, for those of you on Igbo speaking, from the Igbo speaking part of Nigeria, we have a brand new channel. It's called Worship Media Igbo channel. And tomorrow we're going to be having a guest that you don't want to miss. I'm just going to put it up so that you guys will know our guest for tomorrow's program. Please make sure you come, and we are just having a lot of very interesting guests on our program, and we want you to come and be part of it. Where is the picture for that now? Just give me one second. I'm going to show you guys. Where is this before these people come out now? Make I not go anywhere. Make I sell my market. Yeah. Make I not go anywhere. No say make I sell my market now before when I go. I not go sell other people. Or I not go sell my own. All right. So we have a special guest. I mean, even if you're not Igbo, in fact, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that he does part of the program in English, so that because a lot of you use Peace Mass Transit buses, so we have him as our guest tomorrow on our Igbo channel, and it's going to be an awesome time. Thank you once again for your support. So join us 5 p.m. Soca time tomorrow and 12 p.m. Toronto time tomorrow on Worship Media Igbo channel. The link is right now on our chat room, and you can be there. We've come to the end of our program. Thank you for your support. Send us any messages, something you don't like, where you think we went wrong and you need to educate us. We're open for any suggestions. Okay, the ones that we didn't do well, forgive us, and we'll continue to get better. From all of us here in the Worship Media Studios, from Dr. Erica and everyone behind the scene helping us to bring this to you, I want to tell you that I love you. Don't forget to subscribe and stay safe. Bye bye.